The back is healed, and I am back with another video. Hey y'all, it's me, Bree, and welcome back to my channel, BriFre. For those of you that are new here, my name is Brianna. I'm a 23-year-old medical laboratory scientist, CEO and founder of Aqualia Industries and the Girls With Knowledge Book Club, and also an avid reader. And on this channel, I do whatever I want to do in hopes of encouraging y'all to do the same. And in today's video, I will be going through my 170 plus TBR, y'all, because buying books and reading books are two totally different hobbies, okay? I just started getting back into reading this year in January because I graduated in December, and I've been loving getting back into it. I was an avid reader growing up, and once college and probably like in high school happened, I really just stopped reading. My video where I did every book that I've read this year thus far almost got to 5K views. I love the comments on that video. I love seeing you guys engage and also let me know what you're currently reading. It's so interesting to see and to also see that you guys agreed. And I've seen that it was a lot of comments about how diverse my reading palette, I guess, is. And it was so interesting to see how you guys love it. I will read anything but romance, by the way, y'all. I don't do romance. I feel like it's so repetitive. It's boring to me. Maybe if y'all could suggest to me some romance book that you feel like will change my mind. I can't get into romance, y'all. I don't like her. I really don't like her. But thank you guys. Thank you for liking up that video, for subscribing, and for viewing my content. Also, I'm going to come with a lot more BookTube content, but it takes some time for me to get these books, y'all, because I'm about to start my master's and I also work 2 jobs. So I'm going to try to get as much reading in as possible, but I do like collecting books. I tell you that, because reading them and collecting them is 2 separate things. So, you know, this video is going to be crazy because I have a lot of books in my TBR. But now I'm slowly but surely, well, even slowly, I'm jumping straight back into reading. I am only like, I think 18 books in, y'all. I do have 2 full-time jobs, so I haven't been able to like read how I want to, but I have gotten a Kindle. So in this video, you're going to be seeing both TBRs on both my Kindle and physical books. This is my current read, the 5th season. I already love it already. So I'm gonna go by category. So what I use is Notion. Notion is a productivity app that you can build basically anything in. I built my course tracker in Notion, everything keeping up with my company at Aqualia, amongst a bajillion other things. But I do have a library database for both my physical and my digital library, including everything that I've read and not read. I even have some of my reviews, my book reports are also in here. You can build anything in this app. I swear by Notion. This video is not sponsored, although it can be. Notion, please reach out to the girl. But let's get straight into this video. So guys, as you can see here, I have so many books, right? And I did build a category called for genre so that I can classify which is which. And I feel like in this video, I'm going to start off with Black literature because duh. So I will say that an author that I am so excited to get more into her works is Toni Morrison. I have Song of Solomon. I have Beloved. I did hear a lot about Beloved growing up because it was a movie. Song of Solomon, I heard nothing but good things about. I want to get more Toni Morrison's books, but for right now, that's really all I have. Another author that I really do love is James Baldwin. His writing is immaculate. The book that I've read by him this year was Giovanni's Room, which was such a tumultuous journey. It was an LGBTQ book about a white man that was really in Paris and really just stringing everybody along. Very annoying. But I do want to get into If Beale Street Could Talk by James Baldwin and Go Tell on a Mountain. I do have those 2 books in my library. Another book that I also have, I have some Gloria Naylor. Gloria Naylor's Mama Day was a book that I swore by in the beginning of this year. It was one of the first books that I read in the beginning of this year. And it took me through there. I love that book. I do suggest that every single time I do a book review or books that I've read, I always go to Mama Day by Gloria Naylor. It gives you that fantasy, that magic, that Black surrealism. And so I wanted to get more to her books. I started reading Linden Hills by Gloria Naylor. Although I'm trying to finish that one. I think I stopped it because I don't remember why I stopped it. I probably got distracted and wanted to read something else. That's probably what it was. But it was okay. It's nothing on Mama Day, but it was like an okay book. It really evolves around the setting. Gloria Naylor's The Women's of Brewster Place. I grew up watching the movie. I don't really remember it, so I probably will go back and read the book. I do have some books by Gaines, In My Father's House and A Gathering of Old Men. I remember reading, I got these books from my grandmother's library. She gave them to me, and I read A Gathering of Old Men when I was going through her library growing up, but I don't remember it. I do remember the cover though. Another book that I'm excited to read, if we're going to get into some nonfiction, Frances Fanon, The Wretched of the Earth. This was one of the required readings from the Black Panther Party. Always wanted to get into that one. Let's see, what else do I have on here? Bell Hooks. I have bought All About Love by Bell Hooks. I have watched a lot of her little documentaries or interviews on YouTube, and I do love how she's censored about Black womanism and a lot about just love and healing ourselves, and that's how she feels like the world is lacking a lot of love. So I've noticed that theme in a lot of her interviews, and also never read any of her books, and she has a plethora of them. I was able to find one at a local bookstore, and so I always wanted to get to that one. Another book, Girls at War and Other Stories. I wanted to get into that one really bad. That's actually on my actual TBR card that's by my bed, because I really wanted to get into that one because I haven't gotten much into African authors, and I want to get more into that. Another book that I'm really excited about. Oh, this one is on my more recent TBR as well. It's Black Empire by George S. Schuyler. I believe that's how you pronounce it. The cover was fire. Another author that I'm really excited to get into is Percival Everett. I believe that's how you said the first name. If I haven't, y'all please correct me down in the comments. James and Trees. I have those two books, and I know James is the story of Huckleberry Finn, but from the perspective of the runaway slave, and I know Trees is where a whole bunch of white people are randomly themselves. So I wanted to get into that one as well. If we want to get into more nonfiction, I also have Black AF History. This one was really, really popular on TikTok. I remember I kept seeing it, and it kept pushing on my algorithm to buy it. And I seen it when I was on a book crawl in New York, and I said, let me get into her. If we want to get into some series, I do have the Legendborn series. I am 2 books into Legendborn. I just finished the first 2 books. I only have one more left. That's the Oathbound book. I'm so excited to get into that one. And then, of course, I have the 5th season is my current read. I love it so far. I'm like 30% into this book, and I love this series so far. The writing, the imagery, I can see why she's like one of the leading authors in sci-fi, especially as a Black woman. I had to get this series, and I am not disappointed. Hello. I say, I love a multiple POV book, right? Because it's really immersive, but I haven't read a multiple POV book where one of the POVs was second person, meaning where there's like, you went to the store, or you are wondering whether or not it's like you instead of I or she. You know what I'm saying? I hope that explains second person pretty well. I do love this. It's very immersive. As soon as I opened it up, I could not put it down. I started this while I was at work, so I feel like this weekend I'm going to finish this book. So good. And I have the other 2 books. I'm going to get into this book. So excited to get to this series. All right, guys. I also have some Ralph Ellison. Invisible Man was a book that I started at the beginning of this year, but I have not finished it. So I'm going to go back and get into Invisible Man. And then we also have Juneteenth by Ralph Ellison. Oh, I have to mention Zora Neale Hurston. I do have Their Eyes Were Watching God. And Walter Mosley. He has the Devil in the Blue Dress and the Red Death I have by him, which is The Devil in the Blue Dress is a really popular movie, by the way. I know about that one, but I have never read the book. So yeah, guys, these are some of the highlights of some of the Black literature that I have. I'll probably have to do a separate video more detailed on that, because I have a lot of classics and a lot of newer Black literature. Next, guys, I want to get into some fantasy. Fantasy and sci-fi are like my bread and butter. One of my favorite genres. I do love fantasy and sci-fi. I have a lot of books, and I'm just gonna get into some that I am the most excited about getting into. I'm gonna put it on sci-fi and fantasy, and I'm adding some Afro surrealism and magical surrealisms and maybe some epics. We'll do that. We'll do fantasy, sci-fi, Afro surrealism, magic surrealism, and epics because I am very into those. I do have a lot of V.E. Schwab. I have The Vicious and The Fragile Threads of Power. I'm so excited to get to the Vicious series. I heard nothing but good things about that one. I also have The Dispossessed by Ursula K. Le Guin. They said this was like a real hard sci-fi. I haven't gotten to really hard sci-fis yet, but I'm excited to get into it. Let's see. I did read Children of Blood and Bone. I'm not gonna lie, when I think back about it and I've read other book series, I feel like Children of Blood and Bone, I'm really excited to hear that movie come out. I just have the third book to get into it. The first book was really, really good. I'm not gonna lie, the second book, it was like, all right, girl, like, you know what I'm saying? It was pretty good, but it's just like, I don't like in book series when the same issue is present all the way to the end. Like, I know, like, you know what I'm saying, you're not gonna resolve it that fast, but if we keep pushing it, there's no more development, it kind of gets repetitive. I did finish The Immortal Dark, but it was kind of underwhelming a little bit for me. So I haven't bought the second and third books because this is my thing. When I have these series, I had a habit when I was first buying books of buying the whole series in one time, and I don't like it after the first book. So I'll buy the first book first, and then I'll go to if I like it, I'll go to my local bookstore, I'll return and get credits for it, and then I buy the whole series at one time, if that makes sense. So, yeah. I do have Caraval by Stephanie Garber. I really want to get into that. I also have Alchemize. I heard when I first started reading at the beginning of this year, everyone was reading Alchemize. And kind of when everybody reads something, I don't want to read it. So I'm probably going to get into that. I feel like that's going to be more of like my fall situation. It's going to be Alchemize. I heard it's really, really good. Let's see, we have The City of Brass. I don't have many Middle Eastern authors in my library, and I want to build more of that. But I do have The City of Brass, which I know is like a fantasy story set in the Middle East, and I want to get into that. I love the cover. You know me, it's easy for me to like something when I see the cover. I also see Fourth Wing. I heard nothing but a lot of good things about Fourth Wing, but I did hear so many people say it's really, really, really overrated. So I don't know, y'all. I have to see about Fourth Wing. I also have R.F. Kuang's Catabasis. I really want to get into that one. I heard Catabasis is so good. And yeah, Babel is my number one top read of this year. So I'm so excited to get more into R.F. Kuang. I also have, let's see. I have a lot of Octavia E. Butler. I finished Kindred earlier this year, and I loved it. I did love the show a little bit more, which is rare for me because the book normally goes more in detail, but the show gave you more context and more detail. So I did love Kindred. So I do want to get into more of her. I have The Parable of the Sawyer, and I wanted to get into that one as well. Sword of Kagan, that's one of my top of my TBR. Like, I really want to get into Sword of Kagan because I do love epics. Now, I did start The Count of Monte Cristo, which is another classic epic, and I love how the epics really do hold my attention, especially if it's pretty fast paced. So I want to get into more of the epics. I have An Arcane Inheritance. That's like a dark academia book. That's on my top shelf of my TBR cart. Let's see, we have Ordinary Monsters. For some reason, this book has been calling my name. Like, I when I be thinking about my books, I always see this book first. I think the cover really gets me because that second book cover for that book is what I saw first when I was at Barnes & Noble one day, and I was like, that cover looks fire. I'm gonna get the first book and then we're gonna go into the second one. But the story is like more so like a twist on, like, it's kind of similar to Umbrella Academy. It's like a whole bunch of kids all over that have these powers, and this entity is chasing them, is what I got from it. So I really want to get into that one. I do have Ray Barrier. I really want to get into that one. I want to get more into Black fantasy, and I love that one as well. I do have the selected works of H.G. Wells. Sometimes I read little excerpts from that book because I'm trying to build my own book series and write my own book series, and I wanted to have elements of a lot of sci-fi, and I heard that was one of like the founding fathers of sci-fi. Another book that I'm excited about, Rage of Dragons by Evan Winter. Again, another epic fantasy by a Black author that I heard is really, really good. I'm so excited to get into that one. And then also, obviously, I have a lot of Brandon Sanderson, the Mistborn series and The Way of Kings, and I really, really, really want to get to that. I heard it's really good. And then I have Foundations, Prelude to Foundation, Foundation, Forward to Foundation by Asimov, and Second Foundation. And I heard that this one was like one of the beginner sci-fi series. Like it's like one of the first, I guess, of them. And I really want to get into that. I know it's like a show on Apple TV now, so I'm excited to get into that. I heard a lot of good things about The Raven Scholar, Project Hail Mary. These are like two books that I know are super popular, especially on BookTok. I do want to get into those. Pretty much some of the sci-fi that I have in my library that I'm excited to get into, and fantasy, some epics. Let's transition into some classics. When it comes to classics, y'all, this is my reason for reading classics. I want to read it for myself and figure out why is this called a classic. You know what I'm saying? The only classic that I've read thus far that I felt like, oh, now I see why this is one of the classics, is Easter Eden. Easter Eden 8. So it gave me into this wormhole where I wanted to go back and read all classes and determine for myself, does this deserve to be called a classic? Can I see why this book has stood the test of time? And so then I make my own judgment because I just like to. I'm trying to get more into philosophy as well. So I'm going to put classics and philosophy into the same category. I have Phaedo. How do you pronounce it, y'all? It's a book by Plato. Really excited to get into that. I have Ovid's Metamorphoses. I don't know nothing about these. I really have a lot of BookTok friends that are into the classics and philosophy, and I asked them what I should get, and they told me those are some good ones. So I want to get to that at some point. I do have some Jane Austen that I got for like $5 and below. I got some of those little books. I have Pride and Prejudice and Sense and Sensibility. I've never read any Jane Austen. I've heard so many about them. We never read them in school. So I want to get into it and make my own judgments for myself. Recently I did buy Odyssey by Homer. I wanted to get into that. I know that was like more into Greek mythology. About 1984 by George Orwell. I read it in school, don't remember it. Want to go back and read it and see if I take something from it now that I am older. I always have, I don't want to butcher this. It's the brothers Karam. My cat just fell. It's the brothers Karama. I'm not even gonna butcher. I'm gonna put it on the screen. Yeah, I wanted to get into that one. I heard that was like one of the iconic classics. Wuthering Heights. I probably won't read this no time soon because it's a movie now. Everybody keeps talking about it. And when everybody's flocking to a book, it makes me not want to read it. All right, so I have Meditations and Other Classes of Stoic Philosophy. Now, when it comes to philosophy, I do gravitate a lot towards the Stoics. So I have picks from Aurelius, Seneca, and it's like they got some names on them. Y'all know who I'm talking about. I'm gonna put it on the screen. But I do want to get into a lot of those Stoic philosophers and really see if I still coincide with those. I've seen a lot of YouTube videos going into a lot of these philosophies. Want to go and read it for myself, read the actual works, and see if I still agree with some things, if it makes me test the way I think, etc. I do have Don Quixote. That's how you say it, y'all. I heard there's another epic that I wanted to get into about a knight. I feel like that's cool. I never read anything with knights in it. And I also have, obviously The Count of Monte Cristo. I have The Great Expectations by Charles Dickens. Hopefully, I like that. I don't know. We'll see, y'all. I don't know. Like, I don't have much to say about the classics, y'all, because I don't know much about them. No shade. All right, let's get into some nonfiction, some historical, some retelling, some biographies. I have myths and legends. Something I grew up, I really love Greek mythology. Maybe because I was obsessed with Percy Jackson growing up, and I love the drama that's in Greek mythology because everybody did something to everybody and everybody's connected somehow. So I do like Greek mythology. So that's probably why I got that book. A Woman Called Moses. This one is also a Harriet Tubman book. I love that. Let's see. We have Black Fortunes, and it goes into black, successful black entrepreneurs and everything growing up. I wanted to get into The Color of Law, which got more into like redlining and the systematic racism that goes into real estate, and then also just the graphs and how they section off certain areas to certain demographics. Want to get into that for sure. I have Black Culture and Black Consciousness by Lawrence W. Levine. I wanted to get into that for sure. I have Becoming by Michelle Obama. I really, really, really can't wait to get into that one. An American Journey by Colin Powell. My grandmother gave me this from her library, so don't know much about Colin Powell, and the name sounds familiar. I know he's something with the military. Don't know much about it. Gonna get into it and make my own judgments. Let's see what else. I have Women, Race, and Class. I've started reading. I'm like on 3 pages into that one. I was really excited about that one. Going more into Black womanism in general, and how that looks across races and classes. So I love listening to a lot of Angela Davis's interviews and everything as well. So really excited to get into that one. I don't have much for horror and thrillers. Let's throw mystery in there too. Horror, thrillers, and mysteries. Let's see. I have Monday's Not Coming. I heard that was like a mystery thriller. I've seen so much about it on BookTok. I have The Reformatory, which I'm really excited to get into. I'm probably going to get into this around fall time. The Reformatory, I heard that one's about a school for troubled kids where they're like actually being tortured or something in there. I don't have much Stephen King, but when I did go to the bookstore, I did feel gravitated towards Holly by Stephen King, and I'm really excited to get into that. I have All Sinners Bleed. I have some S.A. Crosby, All Sinners Bleed, and Blacktop Wasteland. I heard that he is dominating right now, especially as a Black man in the thriller and in the thriller space and everything. So I'm excited to get into that. The Forest of Missing Girls. The cover really appealed to me. I think I saw this at BJ's on sale, and so that's probably why I got it. And I have No One's Watching by Alyssa Cole. Don't know much about it. Knew the cover was fire. It was on clearance at my bookstore, so that's why I got that one. Let's see, what else do we have here? I do have some textbooks and some books in education, psychology, physics, medical science textbooks. I do have some things under that. And some things that I'm trying to get into. I have Astrophysics for People in a Hurry by Neil deGrasse Tyson. I started reading this book earlier this year, and it got really deep really fast. So I kept having to Google things while I was reading, and it probably is what deterred me from it. But I have to do some more foundational work before I get into a book like that. That's what I heard. Quantum Physics, I've been obsessed with. That's by Rebecca Milham, and I am trying to get more into quantum physics because I want to involve that concept into my own book series that I'm writing. So I'm really excited to get into that. I have a lot of books on neuropsychology because before I went into neuroscience, I thought I wanted to do neuropsychology until I shadowed a whole bunch of neuropsychology doctors, and I knew that was not what I wanted to do. So I have a lot of those books. I have a lot of psychology, everything you need to know books. Yeah, but I did have a lot of more nonfiction educational books and textbooks that I have ordered for foundations, getting into my own book series that I know it's gonna be a lot of sci-fi, magical surrealism, and fantasy, and with elements of a lot of psychology, a lot of physics, a lot of quantum physics for sure. Because I love quantum physics. So I just recently ordered a lot of books on those topics. So you guys can expect an update on this list soon with those books, because I think I'm going to do a separate videos on what I'm doing to the books that I'm using as research to get into my own book series. That's really all the books that I have so far. This is a highlight. If you guys want an even more detailed video on this, drop a comment down below and let me know. What do you guys have on your TBR? Let me know, and let me know if some of these books are even worth reading, honestly, because a lot of my judgments for a good book is the cover, no shade, and also if I hear like a lot of my friends or if I see BookTok suggesting it a lot. But I do stay away from a lot of books that BookTok suggests a lot because, like I said, when I see everybody going to read something, it makes me not want to read it. Yeah. So thank you guys. Thank you again for watching my videos. I was so shook when I seen this, like over 5,000 y'all that really love, almost 5,000 y'all that loved my previous video, which was all the books that I read this year. So you guys go and check that video out. Thank you guys for liking it up. Like I said, please comment, let me know what you're reading, because I love engaging with y'all and I love seeing everybody's different perspectives on certain books. Again, thank y'all for watching my video. Continue to pursue all attainable visions, because every vision that you have is attainable. I will see you guys in the next video. More content on the way. My back is healed, so expect more videos, y'all. See y'all in the next video. Bye.